Howdy, 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 and welcome to WWW. What a week in wrestling. News, reviews, a preliminary look to the upcoming pay-per-views, Collector's Corner featuring the next instalment of The Shelves That Made Me, and your final chance to win this figure. Keep watching for details on how to do that. So, we'll look at the news first of all. Quite a small week of news in the world of wrestling. AEW have announced a couple of signings. Matt Cardona, the former Zack Ryder, has been signed. He's very good friends with Cody, so the future looks bright for the young Major Brother. Eddie Kingston from the independent scene. I caught a little bit of him in Impact. Seems like he's amazing on the mic, and very good reviews of him from the independent scene, so hopefully he'll do well. 3 maybe signings here. Couple of them from the women's tournament, tag team tournament that's going to be going on. Ariane Andrews, a former Cameron Funkadactyl fame in WWE, will be teaming with Nyla Rose. And Tainara Conti, recently released from NXT, will also be in that same match, but teaming with Anna Jay. Interesting to see if any of those two get signed. The other one is Brian Pillman Jr. We've seen him 2 or 3 times now in AEW. He looks amazing. Hopefully he will get signed. He's very much got a look of now, almost divulging into kind of Tiger King kind of style, but a much more cool version of that. He looks really good. I hope they sign him. Straight on to the results. Raw. Andrade and Angel Garza kicked off Raw, winning the number 1 contenders match for the Raw tag team titles over the Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. Correct move. Andrade and Garza are the future. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler came to a draw. I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax, as I've said in previous episodes. I am a big fan of Shayna Baszler. Hopefully she gets the one up on her. Lashley defeated Mustafa Ali. I'm already worried about Mustafa Ali on Raw. I think it's going to be a case of another cruiserweight going nowhere. Sasha Banks is your new Raw Women's Champion, defeating Asuka. A horrible way to win. Asuka saw Kairi Sane getting a beatdown and ran to the back, taking the 10 count for the count out. Because of the rules in the match, Sasha is your new champion. Yes, it made sense to do with the rules of the match. No, it's not good for wrestling fans. And especially if it's Kairi Sane's last appearance in WWE, that's a poor way to go out. Murphy defeated Humberto Carrillo. Murphy definitely displaying a more ruthless side. We saw he put Aleister Black's eye into the steel steps, same as Rollins did to Mysterio. So he's definitely following in Rollins' leadership, which is a good way forward. It's a good way to progress the character and the storyline. And in the main event, Drew McIntyre defeated Dolph Ziggler in an Extreme Rules match. Randy Orton coming out of nowhere. NXT. Tegan Nox and Io Shirai kicked off NXT with a victory over Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai. Johnny Gargano defeated Roderick Strong. My prayers were answered, and they came up with this match, and it was a very good match, so I'm very glad they did. Mercedes Martinez defeated Shotzi Blackheart. Imperium defended the NXT Tag Team titles against Everrise, and after that match, Undisputed Era came and gave Imperium a beatdown. I don't know what the situation is with Walter and Alexander Wolf, whether they've been able to get over on a plane yet. I know Ridge Holland's making his NXT debut next week, so he's obviously been able to make it over, unless he was already there. So maybe Walter and Alexander Wolf might get involved in that match, because the tag team title match has been set between them for next week's NXT. I very, very much look forward to that match. Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Jake Atlas. Nice little match for the Cruiserweights. A couple of little stumbles in that match, but Jake Atlas is learning. His moveset is very different to everybody else's, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And in the main event, the triple threat match to see who progressed into the ladder match for TakeOver, Dexter Lumis, another unexpected victor, defeated Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher. So that's Bronson Reed and Dexter Lumis. Next week, I think Damian Priest, as he said in his promo, the favourite will win next week. On to SmackDown. A little bit of a heel turn night on SmackDown, it seemed. AJ Styles defended his Intercontinental Championship against Gran Metalik. Baron Corbin defeated Drew Gulak. Baron Corbin, I'm liking what I'm seeing of him from SmackDown at the moment. His acting is looking much more fluent. It's flowing much better. It's not looking as much put on. So that's good steps for King Corbin. Big E started his singles career, probably for 6 weeks, by defeating The Miz. Naomi defeated Lacey Evans. Lots of little botches in that match. Bayley defeated Nikki Cross in the main event. Alexa Bliss got in the ring, and we saw a little bit of a almost verging on a heel turn by Nikki Cross, getting very frustrated, pushing Alexa Bliss out the way, which led to The Fiend coming in and putting the mandible claw on Alexa Bliss. Who would have seen that coming? I'm very, very interested on seeing where that is going to lead to from WWE. On to AEW now, pretty much like a team night on AEW Dynamite it seemed. We kicked off with best friends Orange Cassidy and 2 members of the Jurassic Express defeating the Inner Circle. Cody defended his TNT title against Warhorse. Obviously we saw Matt Cardona come into that match afterwards. Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega defended the tag team titles against Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. The first loss for Evil Uno and Stu Grayson as a tag team. Hopefully that won't lead to too much of a slide for them, because I really like them, especially Stu Grayson. Hikaru Shida defended her title against Diamante. In fact, I'm not sure whether she defended her title or whether it was non-title. But anyway, Hikaru Shida defeated Diamante. Another terrible women's match in AEW. I mentioned last week about how awful the women's match was. This was on a par with that. It was lazy. It was just everything that could kind of go wrong, little bits did, and it didn't flow at all. AEW needs to pick up that women's division. They do have some top talent in their roster. It's just not appearing on TV at the moment. And in the main event, Jon Moxley and Darby Allin defeated Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Very shocked that Darby Allin made it out for that match, considering the incident the week before where Ricky Starks hit him proper hard in the back of the head. So I look forward to the pay-per-views so far. I only got a few names announced for the pay-per-views. NXT Takeover 30. We have the ladder match for the vacant North American Championship. The only 2 names so far are Bronson Reed and Dexter Lumis in it. Expect at least 3 or 4 more names. And Io Shirai will definitely be defending her NXT Women's title. A match has been set up between Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley to find the number 1 contender. As it's NXT, probably expect that match to end in some kind of controversy, which means it'll be triple threat. The main thing that makes sense is Dakota Kai fighting for it at the moment, so I hope that happens. SummerSlam, 2 matches announced so far. The Raw Tag Team titles will be defended. Street Profits will be defending against Andrade and Angel Garza. I would normally say expect Andrade and Garza to win that, but knowing Raw, Street Profits will win, and then Andrade and Angel Garza will win it the night after on Raw. So that's probably going to happen. And the main event has probably been set for SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre will face Randy Orton. WWE are very big on Orton at the moment, and he is having a definite resurgence in his career. So maybe Orton will take that. I do feel sorry for Drew. If they end it now, it makes sense, because he can then go on and have a little bit of maybe a heel run in the future, complain about how when he was champion he didn't get anything, he didn't get any fans, he didn't get any arenas, he didn't get any money. That would be an amazing way to progress the Drew McIntyre character into a heel. Randy Orton should take that at the moment, in my opinion. Wrestlers of the week, 4 weeks and year. Wrestler of the week is Orange Cassidy. He got wins on both Dark and Dynamite this week. Wrestler of the past 4 weeks is Bayley. She's unstoppable, just picking up a massive amount of points in the Fantasy Wrestling League that I run. And Stars of the Year, for WWE, Drew McIntyre makes it 2 weeks in a row. He obviously got a win on Raw over Dolph Ziggler. And in AEW, Cody. He'll take a lot of stopping in AEW because he keeps wrestling every week. Obviously this week defending against Warhorse. Collector's Corner this week. So we've got a couple of figures and we've got the shelves that made me to look at this week. The 2 figures that I've picked up this week, it finally arrived. It is Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Elite. Elites. I didn't mind waiting for this one. I'm not a massive fan of The Fiend, but it's definitely a nice figure to have in my collection. I hope that's coming all right on screen. I'm sure I'll get a picture of it as well for you. It's obviously got the lantern, which we weren't sure whether it would get released. And as usual with WWE Elites at the moment, some spare hands. Everyone's coming with hands. Some people even 2 sets. Not a big fan myself. I can see when it's needed, but not a big fan of every figure coming with them. Picked up a nice little Lucy on eBay this week, which is the ringside exclusive Kane. Oh, there he is. And it is a removable mask. It's quite difficult to get off, leading to the black-eyed type of Kane. It didn't come with the cuffs and the chain and things like that, but that's no bother for me because it's going to be going in my display at some point. And as I said at the beginning, the final chance to win the ALEISTER Black figure. Whatever platform you're watching on at the moment, simply prove to me in the comment, you've got to make a comment, that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, Adam the Wrestling Man. Should be a list of names of people who have already entered this competition. I think there's only about 20 at the moment, so all of those people have a 1 in 20 chance of winning. I will be picking the winner this week. It'll be a live random line picker on YouTube, and then I'll get in contact with the winner. Probably Wednesday, sometime after 7 PM. Okay, the shelves that made me. We're looking at a kind of early to mid 90s shelf at the moment. We've already been from 1985 up until very early 90s. So here's early to mid 90s. Let's go. Okay, hopefully you can see that nice and clear. So top row, we have Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The reason I've put him in this display is that I'm going to make a Paul Roma to go with him to represent the Pretty Wonderful tag team in WCW. We have Bob Backlund from his kind of return angle run where he won the WWF Championship. Bam Bam Bigelow and the Narcissist Lex Luger, and you can just see him in the middle there, a little custom dink that I bought a while ago on Facebook. I do actually need to get a doink to go with it. I've not got one at the moment. We've got a couple of WCW representatives. We've got John Tenter as Shark, and we've got the Shockmaster. Very infamous run in WCW with his fall. We've got Isaac Yankem, the former Kane, the former Isaac Yankem, but Glenn Jacobs that went on to play Kane, and we've got Kamala in his gear from his 1993-ish type of run. Lovely little shelf next of Razor Ramon, the bad guy, in his typical pose. Diesel with his hand up in the air, and the tag team of Bob Sparkplug Holly and the 123 Kid. Bob Sparkplug Holly, a custom from Curb Stomp Customs. And the front row, we've got Yokozuna with the Japanese flag. We've got Hulk Hogan representing his WCW run, and we've got 2 versions of Bret Hart, one from that awesome iconic advert with the kid shouting, "Bret!" And obviously 1993 King of the Ring winner, Bret Hart. So we'll go on to kind of mid to late 90s next time. A little preview there. Okay, that's been me this week. You've been watching WWW. What a Week in Wrestling. Thanks for watching. Enter the ALEISTER Black competition by making a comment. See you next week.